Frankie.
Hello, this is audio commentary for episode 35 of BoxMac Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. It's the cheesiest. So that guy got paid like $1 billion or whatever. He was like some homeless guy, and they just were like, oh, you could say Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. Like, I can do that. Give me $1 billion. Sorry. Anyway, I'm Andrew David Soroka, otherwise known as Angry Kirby, otherwise known as Requests Channel Guy, otherwise known as the guy who's on BoxMac sometimes. Frankie asked me to do an audio commentary. He also asked me to mention that he asked me to do an audio commentary for what, as if I busted into his house and was like, I insist on being on this audio commentary. I don't care if you want me on here or not. But here I am doing audio commentary. Sorry, whatever. No, I'm not apologizing to you, person at home, listening to episode 35, volume 2, Blu-ray, BoxMac audio commentary. You might be the only person in the world doing this right now. You special snowflake. You are legitimately special. Because I don't know anybody else who's doing this right now other than you, person at home. Probably sadly eating mac and cheese. Sorry, don't. just eat some more vegetables. That's all I ask. Just eat some more vegetables. Maybe run a little bit. Get your life together, man or woman, listening to episode 35. You're already a few episodes in on the audio commentaries, which means you probably already watched the high definition goodness without the audio commentaries, and now you're all the way on to episode 35. Oh, I'm sorry, am I not talking about the episode enough? Well, it's a 12-minute episode, which I was really happy, actually, that it ended up being this long, because it must have been a long time that we were recording this. Like, BoxMac episodes are usually shot in, like, 8 or 10 minute segments and then edited down, or like 10, 12 minutes, whatever. And like, but we did this for probably half an hour, 45 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you how long we actually shot this for. But there was a lot of stuff that got cut. A lot of it was fine. I'll talk about that later. There's actually enough time to talk about stuff later because we were, 2 minutes and 10 or so seconds in, 12, whatever. Some people try to insult me. They were like, oh, you look like the Joker. It's like, and I was really touched by that because it's like, oh, I look like a skinny, crazy person. Like, I was so fat not long ago. I looked like John not that long ago. Not that long before I filmed this. I used, like a year beforehand, I was 300 pounds. I was so fat. You can watch old Request Channel videos and see how fat I was. I was so fat. So fat. I never had a neck. Oh, man, it's amazing what a human can do. Here, you want to know how to lose 140 pounds in a year? Fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds. No starchy vegetables, no peanuts. That's it. Those are the only exceptions. Fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds, 6 days a week. One day you have a cheat meal, you eat whatever you want. You can move the day wherever you want. Ooh, the Mac cooker. Oh, yeah, I showed off my art earlier where I made Frankie look like King Leonidas, but I like that. I like my art, my crazy art. Sitting at a cold construction site at night drawing BoxMac stuff, watching BoxMac episodes on my phone. I love this show. I am so off. I'm going to be all over the place, but I don't care. It's an audio commentary, so you can just deal with it. Good person at home. I stumbled upon BoxMac because I somehow, while looking up something for The Force Awakens, probably before it came out, stumbled across one of Frankie's cartoons, and I was like, oh, I liked, and I enjoyed it. And then I moved on to whatever the next video was on YouTube that had nothing to do with anything or them at all. And then I was like, you know what? That person worked hard on making a cartoon, and I've made cartoons, and like, I spent like 3 months working on a cartoon that ended up being 3.5 minutes long, and it's like, animation's really hard, and like, even if it comes out bad, it's still really hard. Good or bad, animation is hard to do. And like, so whatever. So I'm like, oh, I'll go back and watch whatever that person did, because and see what else is on there, expecting a couple more cartoons, which there are. But then I found BoxMac and I was like, oh my god, what is this? Where has this been my entire life? It's just like this cooking show entirely about mac and cheese, and I love it. I love BoxMac so much. And I basically, once I went to their Twitter page and it said they were in Massachusetts, I invited myself on this show, basically. I was like, can I be on your show? Because I'm in Massachusetts. And at the time, they were small enough to allow, they still are. That's not nice of me to say. They should be, but this show should be bigger. YouTube does not reward hard work, though. This is something I've learned through being on here since its inception. I've done a million different things on YouTube, and it doesn't pay to do hard work. Like, you can work really hard every week editing stuff together. Shut up, computer. And it doesn't really pay to do that. It just whatever. But like, I love this show, and I hope it gets super popular. Oh, that's one of the things that got cut out. They kind of set me up. Okay, so I'm going to talk about. Okay, well, let me talk about the Mac cooker for a bit. Okay, so the Mac cooker, I actually would highly recommend it, despite the fact that they trash it in this episode. And I defended it then, and I will defend it now. Buy a Mac cooker. It is a good way to boil water in a room that doesn't have a stove in it. Like, my stovetop doesn't work right now, so I just use this thing if I want to, like I use this thing to make eggs all the time, like hard-boiled eggs all the time. It's great for that. It's not so great for mac and cheese. The lid is the worst design thing ever. It's really dumb. The lid, just throw the lid in the garbage, though. Get another lid. The lid is dumb, because it has holes in it so steam comes out the top, and it has a crank on top so you just burn your hand. Like, the lid is bad. But forget the lid, just throw that lid away, and use it you can make soup, as I said, I use it to make hard-boiled eggs in my room all the time. That thing is great. It's excellent. It's just a hot plate with sides, and they should market it that way instead of going, because for mac and cheese you have to clean it out, but it's good. It gets really hot really fast. I will defend that thing. I use it. I used it literally like 2 days ago to make a couple hard-boiled eggs. It is excellent. For what it is very good, and I will not besmirch the name of the mac and cheese cooker, who I think actually got bought. Here I am explaining something. Oh, I'm explaining how serious. Oh, John was seriously upset about whatever had happened. Oh, he didn't like the mac and cheese cooker, and it upset him, like, seriously. I love... The mentality of BoxMac makes me very happy. I very much relate to this idea of, like, yes, this is stupid and silly and ridiculous, and it doesn't matter, but I'm going to take it very seriously and try to work as hard as possible to make the best possible version of a silly, stupid, fun thing that doesn't really matter short of it being a fun, silly, stupid thing. And I love that, because I spent years trying to make like short films that no one's ever seen that are just like that, where it's like, this is really dumb, but to me it's not dumb. To me this is important. Like, I want this to be good and funny and silly and entertaining. Anyway, he just throws that on the ground. Oh, man. Oh, so I want to talk about some stuff that got deleted from this episode, because there's a lot of stuff. I'm very happy with this episode, by the way. I'm not complaining at all. I couldn't believe this thing ended up being 12 minutes. Like, I love this episode. I love how this came out. I watched this like 40 times when he first sent it to me. But I'm going to talk about some stuff that did get deleted from this episode. Oh, there I am farting. Let me talk about something. They kind of set me up a little bit for this one thing that I was kind of glad didn't end up in the episode. So in between episodes. Oh, you will not be disappointed, by the way. I was not disappointed at all with my first BoxMac experience, because I drove out to the middle of nowhere where John's house is to go do this episode. And like, you know, I didn't know that they were going to be nice people. Like, I don't get along with most people. Like, most people don't like me. I don't like most people. But everyone at BoxMac, they're really awesome. Like, everybody there they're cool people. They're really nice, cool, funny people. I have nothing negative to say about them at all. Everybody there is great. Everybody's cool on the show. Everybody. But I didn't know that. So like coming in there, I was like, I didn't know what to expect, and I was trying not to be. And like I was happy. I was so happy that they were like letting me do the show. I was excited for it. And like, but you know, it could have just been them going like, it could have been a boring Max episode or something. So I get out of my car, and Frankie walks out dressed as George Washington. And I'm like, all right, this is spectacular from the jump. And then so they filmed an episode, and they made some British Macs that they were like, oh, these aren't that good. But I was like, holy God, these are like some of the best. Oh, shut up, phone. That's my phone going off saying go to work. Shut up, phone. Shut up. Oh my God, the bomb's exploding. All right, sorry. So, wow, I just lost my dumb train of thought. Oh, there I am laughing at John reading about like how hot steam will come out of the unit. Don't put your hands over the ingredient hole. I love that it was like the macaroni hole. Like there was instructions that said stuff like that. Anyway, whatever. So I was disappointed at all with my initial. Anyway, so then. Oh, so they made this, they made a bunch of British mac. They were like, those aren't that good. And they were like, some of the best mac and cheeses I've ever eaten. And I was like, because somehow they make really good mac and cheese. Like, they're really good at cooking that. Anyway, so then we just talked for like an hour. We just sat on the couch and just shooted the breeze. We did there, us fine gentlemen and ladies. And we just talked about crap. And I mentioned how, like, I think in a couple years the show would be like crazy popular, and I was joking like that in a couple years, like, you'd have the entire cast of like Avengers versus Justice League, but it would still take place in John's kitchen, so it would be like Scarlett Johansson just awkwardly trying to like scoot between John and like Ben Affleck, and everybody was like, that's hilarious. And I was like, I should have brought that up on the show, like when we do the episode. And they were like, oh no, it's fine, just redo it on the episode. So I was like, oh, okay. So then the episode comes and I basically say that whole thing, and they stink-eyed me, and they were just like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, we know. Mm-hmm. Cool, great, yeah. And they gave me nothing. So that's something that didn't make the episode, where they just, they set me up for that. That's okay. I think it's funny. That's what I'm telling you. I don't have to tell you. No one ever has to know. The other thing that got deleted that I remember knowing that it wouldn't make the episode because of its content, but being like, still a little like sad that it's gone. Like if there is a deleted scene section, it probably doesn't work because Zach and EJ weren't mic'd, but like, us making really weird, dirty noodle jokes, like saying stuff like, ooh, like, let me get my hot creamy sauce all up in your noodle, or whatever the hell we were saying. I love the way this ends. So weird and crazy. All right. Thanks for watching. I love you.
Angry Kirby, are you morbidly curious to see his freakish YouTube channel? Subscribe here, and also take a look at our UK Mac finale. See you next Sunday, denizens of Red Cow.